2 Kings 9. And Elisha the prophet called one of the children of the prophets and said unto him, Gird up your loins, and take this box of oil in your hand, and go to Ramoth-Gilead. And when you come thither, look out there Yahu, the son of YAHUSHA, the son of Nimshi, and go in, and make him arise up from among his brethren, and carry him into an inner chamber. Then take the box of oil, and pour it on his head, and say, Thus says Yahuwah, I have anointed you king over Yasharel. Then open the door and flee, and tarry not. So the young man, even the young man the prophet, went to Ramoth-Gilead. And when he came, behold, the captains of the host were sitting, and he said, I have an errand to you, O captain. And Yahu said, Unto which of all us? And he said, To you, O captain. And he arose and went into the house, and he poured the oil on his head, and said unto him, Thus says Yahuwah Elohai of Yasharel, I have anointed you king over the people of Yahuwah, even over El Yasharel. And you shall smiteth the house of Achab your master, that I may avenge the blood of my servants the prophets, and the blood of all the servants of Yahuwah, at the hand of Yisbel. For the whole house of Achab shall perish, and I will cut off from Achab him that pisseth against the wall, and him that is shut up and left in Yasharel. And I will maketh the house of Achab like the house of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, like the house of Baasha, the son of Achiyahu. And the dog shall eateth the Isabel in the portion of Israel, and there shall be none to bury her. And he opened the door and fled. Then Yahu came forth to the servants of his Lord, and one said unto him, Is all well? Wherefore came this mad fellow to you? And he said unto them, You knoweth the man, and his communication. And they said, It is false. Tell us now. And he said, Thus and thus spoke he unto me, saying, Thus says Yahuwah, I have anointed you king over El Yasharel. And they hasted and took every man his garment, and put it under him on top of the stairs, and blew with shofar, saying, Yahuwah is king. So Yahu, the son of Jehoshaphat, the son of Nimshi, conspired against Joram. Now Joram had guarded Ramoth-Gilead, he and all Yasharel, because of Hazael, king of Aram. But King Joram was returned to be healed in Israel of the wounds which the Aramaim had given him when he fought with Hazael, king of Aram. And Yahu said, If it be your minds, then let none go forth nor escape out of the city to go tell it in Israel. So Yahu rode in a chariot and went to Israel, for Joram lay there. And Achazyahu, king of Judah, was come down to seeth Joram. And there stood a watchman on the tower in Israel, and spiedeth the company of Yahu as he came, and said, I see a company. And Joram said, Take a horseman, and send to meet them, and let him say, Is it peace? So there went one on horseback to meet him, and said, Thus says the king, Is it peace? And Yahu said, What have you to do with peace? Turn beside me. And the watchman told, saying, The messenger came to them, but he comes not again. Then he sent out a second on horseback, which came to them, and said, Thus says the king, Is it peace? And Yahu answered, What have you to do with peace? Turn behind me. And the watchman told, saying, He came even unto them, and comes not again. And driving is like the driving of Yahu, the son of Nimshi, for he drives furiously. And Joram said, Make ready. And his chariot was made ready. And Joram, king of Yasharel, and Achazyahu, king of Yehudah, went out, each in his chariot, and they went out against Yahu to meet him in the portion of Navah, the Israeli. And it came to pass, when Joram saweth Yahu, that he said, Is it peace, Yahu? And he answered, What peace? So long as the whoredoms of your mother Yisbel and her witchcrafts are so many. And Joram turned his hands and fled, and said to Achazyahu, There is treachery, O Achazyahu. And Yahu drew a bow with his full strength, and smoteth Joram between his arms. And the arrow went out his heart, and he sunk down in his chariot. Then said Yahu to Bidkod, his captain, Take up and cast him in the portion of the field of Novath the Yisraeli. For remember how that when I and you hath rode together after Achab his father, YAHUAH laideth his burden upon him. Surely I have seen yesterday hath the blood of Nebaioth, and hath the blood of his son, says YAHUAH, and I will requite you in his plot, says YAHUAH. Now therefore take and cast him into the plot of ground, according to the word of YAHUAH. But when Achazyahu, the king of Yehudah, saw this, he fled by way of the garden house, and Yahu followed after him and said, Smite him also in the chariot. And they did so at the going up to Gur, which is by Yevederam, and he fled to Megiddo and died there. And his servants carried him in a chariot to Jerusalem, and buried him in his sepulchre with his fathers in the city of David. And in the 11th year of Joram, the son of Achab, began Achazyahu to reign over Yehudah. And when Yahu was come to Israel, Isabel heard of it, and she painted her face, and hath tried her head, and looked out a window. And as Yahu entered in at the gate, she said, Had Zimri peace, who slew his master? And he lifted up his face to the window and said, Who is on my side? Who? And there looked out to him 2 or 3 eunuchs. And he said, Throw her down. So they threw her down, and some of her blood was sprinkled on the wall and on the horses, and he trode her under foot. And when he was come in, he did eat and drink, and said, Go, see now at this cursed woman, and bury her, for she is a king's daughter. And they went out to bury her, but they found no more of her than the skull, and the feet, and the palms of her hands. Wherefore they came again and told him, and he said, This is the word of YAHUAH, which he spoke by his servant Eliyahu the Tishbe, saying, In the portion of Israel shall dogs eateth the flesh of Isabel. And the carcass of Isabel shall be as dung upon the face of the field in the portion of Israel, so that they shall not say, This is Ishbel.